Hello fellow YouTubers, my name is BobStraitFTW, and today we are playing Battlefield 4 with our favorite sniper rifle, not really, the Gold Magnum. It's pretty close. It's within 100 kills of becoming mastered. We're not gonna master it today, but we may master it later today when I stream, but this video is coming out after I stream. It's all just a giant jumbled mess, but I didn't stream yesterday, which was Thursday, and I usually stream on Thursdays, or at least I'm setting the precedent to do so, and I haven't been doing that, or I didn't do that neither Tuesday nor Thursday, and Tuesday I forget what my excuse was, but this time, Thursday, I ran my computer through some updates, and it got stuck on updating, and when I say updating, I mean I bought an SSD a while back, right? And if you don't know what an SSD is, a physical hard drive in your computer has spinning disks. And information on those disks, it basically has to spin up, and it has a needle that uses magnetism. And if you actually, let's say that you're loading in a game on your PS4, you can actually put your ear up to your PS4 and hear that needle in your hard drive. And SSDs is more of a digital storage of information instead of such a physical. And it basically makes so that stuff can load a lot faster and things just overall run a lot better when you're running it off of an SSD, because one, you don't have a whole bunch of moving parts, and two, it doesn't take time to get your information. It's almost instant. Now, the only thing that limits an SSD really is the cable that you are using to connect it to your motherboard. And the speed of your RAM. SSDs are almost as fast as RAM, as far as I know. They're not quite as fast as RAM, just because, you know, RAM is RAM. Uh-oh. I got him. Okay, whew. RAM is RAM, and RAM is the type of information that when your game says loading, it's taking it off of your hard drive and putting it onto your RAM, because it can access that information significantly faster than if it's on your hard drive. And so I basically wanted to install Windows 10 onto this new hard drive that I bought. It was like 70 bucks. It was 200 and something gigs, 250 gigs, which 223 usable gigs. And oh crap, I ran into a friendly claymore. And then after that, 230 gigs. I got about 150 left after I got everything installed on it that I really want. So realistically, it's 150 gigabytes of space that I can either load games or all that. And I went ahead and I loaded all of my important programs except one onto the SSD so far. And like I said, I bought this SSD a very long time ago, maybe 4 months ago or something like that. But I had troubles with trying to get my Windows to work on it. And I'm still having troubles upgrading it to 10, but I don't think I'm gonna upgrade it to 10. I'm running away, I'm gonna die, watch me die. So, I was having troubles with upgrading to Windows 10, and I was having even a harder problem trying to get Windows 7 to work on it, because there's this thing where I have a pre-built computer, okay, and it's a Dell, and I've upgraded enough parts in it that the only parts that are in it that are manufacturer are the motherboard and the CPU, and that's because it's an amazing CPU, and I'm scared about buying other. It's just CPUs are so fragile. I don't even want to buy one. Crap, man. Just so, I'm so hesitant today. Anyway, so I created a little boot drive, which is basically an 8 gig thumbstick that I can plug into my computer, and it will install Windows 7 onto a hard drive. And I did that to my SSD, but I couldn't, when I was into it a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago, that's why I eventually stopped trying, is because I got into a thing where I couldn't use the code for my current Windows on the new Windows, and it was just creating this genuine error where Windows has to be genuine on your machine for it to work properly. And I didn't have any of those. So that sucked major donkey balls. And like I said, I eventually gave up on it until I forget exactly how I did it, but I did work my way around the system, and now I can just plug in my code anytime I want and it works. And so I have no idea how I fooled the genuine system. And I didn't really fool it. I have a key, but the problem is that it's an OEM key, which OEM keys are bought by manufacturers at a discounted price. And so my Dell computer has an OEM Windows 7 on it, and I basically copied that code and tried to install a new one, and it didn't quite work right, but I eventually got it to work after, I'd say, 7 or 8 hours of constantly, like, but I did that a long time ago, and then I had the current problem that I've been having is the update problem where my system refuses to update. I dropped a claymore right before I went up. That's lame. But I got the, where was I? The updates, right? I've heard horror stories of people waiting 4 days with their computer just sitting there doing updates and updates and updates. And I eventually took the time to, yesterday, at like 7 in the morning, and I didn't get done until 3 in the afternoon, and it still had update stuff to do. And I eventually got it to do its thing. I downloaded a whole bunch of patches, whatever, and I finally got Windows 7 installed on this new drive. Now, to put this into perspective, with my old hard drive, and I still have my old hard drive, so everything works pretty okay with that hard drive. I'm actually recording using the new hard drive right now. I'm still recording because I have a recording drive, which I just use for like recording from the Elgato software to an actual hard drive, so that way they're not running on the same thing and I don't get a weird kind of lag or latency or anything like that. There's not conflicting signals there because recording in high definition is very taxing on a hard drive, and so you kind of want to split that between 2 different hard drives. And now my Elgato software is running off of my SSD, which, holy crap, it used to take maybe 30-40 seconds to boot up. I click it and it boots up almost instantly, maybe 5 seconds of lag between the time that I click the button and the software actually boots up. And I'm so glad that I got this thing working, and hopefully it stays working, because I have had an issue in the past where no way. I have had an issue in the past, and I'm not sure if this was the computer or the way that I was doing it. The guy didn't even know I was there. I have had a problem with the computer in the past where Windows wasn't genuine long enough, and like the computer either wiped itself or something like that. But I think it may have been just a faulty computer. It was an old laptop, and that laptop went through 2 or 3 hard drives before I eventually gave up on it. And I think that there was a design flaw with a Dell Inspiron, whatever the diddle, and I am very glad that I don't use that laptop anymore. In fact, I don't use laptops anymore. I moved away from laptops after having to buy 3 freaking hard drives for that damn thing. Oh, please! Idiot. Thanks for the free kill. I got him! But yeah, that's what I've been going through the past couple days, and I finally got all of the software that I need onto the SSD. The only software that I decided to put on the old hard drive, since I have such limited room, is my FL Studio, which is the program that I use to diddle with my voice while I'm recording, right? And the reason that I decided to put that on my old hard drive instead of the new one, the reason that I did that is because I'm super focused right now, I'm sorry. The reason that I decided to do that is because that software almost never takes any time to start up. And whereas every other piece of software that I do have usually takes, you know, half a minute or something, or something pretty ridiculous that I'm not okay with having to deal with anymore, and now hopefully I don't have to, which will be really, really nice. Going forward into the YouTube spectrum of the mind freak of the stuff, but that's what I've been dealing with lately. SSD now works, and oh, it's so nice. Let me do this again to put it in perspective. My old hard drive, I could boot up in about a minute, right? But that would boot up to a point where I could barely use the computer. It usually took an extra 2 or 3 minutes for everything to kind of get like Skype to boot up and all the background stuff that runs in your computer. My computer was almost unusable for that for the next 3 minutes after it boots up. And now it's like 15 seconds by the time that I hit start, or that I hit the power button on the computer, 15 seconds before I'm moving around doing stuff. So that is just a fantastic thing, and it makes my life significantly better in a lot of different ways. It makes recording a lot easier. It makes everything. The Elgato software has not worked any better in my life. It works fantastic now. Not to mention that the Elgato software has had an update since the last time that I used it. They have this new sound capture thing, which is a really interesting idea, but I don't see me personally using it a lot unless I start streaming a lot more often, which I'm not going to stream a lot more often because I just don't have the time. I might stream on weekends. I don't do much on weekends, but I do work on weekends. But I've talked way past the time that it was the time to talk. You know what? I don't have much more to talk about, so I was going to do one more game, but since I am literally out of words flowing from the mouth, or projectile, let's say projectile vomit of words just at your face hole, I'm gonna say, if you made it to this part of the video, put the word fabrique. Here, let's go scoreboard. Fabrique, F-A-B-R-I-K, in your comment in the comment section below so that I know that you watched the video all the way to the end, and then the best viewer and subscriber ever. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help me and my channel out. That is all.